keeping thy fear always before our eyes, and laying aside all private interest, prejudices, and partial affections, the result of all our counsels may be to the glory of thy blessed name, the maintenance of true religion and justice, the safety, honor, and happiness of the king, the public weal, peace and tranquility of the island, the uniting and knitting together with the hearts of all persons and the states within the same, in true Christian love and charity, one towards another, through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
You may be seated. This honorable House now resumes its sitting. It is indeed, as always, a great honor and pleasure to welcome all of you to the sitting of the House of Representatives on today, Wednesday, November 15, 2023, for the continuation of the State of the Constituency debate. I would like to extend a special welcome to those who are joining us on the various social media platforms. Let me also make welcome Mrs. Lee Andrea Wilson, our Legislative Counsel. She is standing to my right. She is formerly a clerk of the courts at the Corporate Area Traffic Court and has been there for the last 4 years. And she was called to the bar in 2018. Parliament makes you welcome. Call of the roll.
Mr. Clark, Mr. Bartlett, Mr. Holness, Dr. Clark, Dr. Chang, Ms. Grange, Mr. McKenzie, Mr. Chuck, Dr. Tufton, Mrs. Williams, Mr. Vaz, Mrs. Malawu Fort, Mr. Charles, Mr. Green, Mr. Morgan, Mr. Warmington, Mr. Main, Mrs. Cuthbert Flynn, Mr. Terry Long, Dr. Dunn, Mr. Hutchinson, Mr. Witter, Ms. Smith, Mr. Davis, Mr. Brown, Dr. Brown-Burke, Dr. Charles, Mr. Chin, Mr. Cousins, Ms. Crawford, Ms. Daly, Ms. Davis, Mr. Golding, Mr. Graham, Dr. Guy, Ms. Hamilton, Ms. Hannah, Mr. Henriquez, Mr. Henry, Mr. Hilton, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Lawrence, Ms. Lee, Mr. Miller, Mr. Montague, Ms. Morrison, Mrs. Nita Garvey, Mr. Paulwell, Mr. Phillips, Dr. Phillips, Mr. Robertson, Mr. Robinson, Mr. Samuda, Mr. Shaw, Mr. Siblist, Mr. Sloly, Mrs. Vaz, Dr. Wheatley, Mr. Williams, Mr. Wilson, and Mr. Wright. Mrs. Williams.
House Leader.
Madam Speaker, can we just proceed as normal with the agenda? We have two short matters, and then at public business we go straight into the state of the constituency debate.
Thank you, House Leader. Agreed. Statement by ministers. Announcements.
Laid on the table of the House today are copies of the annual report and audited financial statements of the Aeronautical Telecommunications Limited for the financial year 2021-2022.
Bills brought from the Senate, petitions, papers, reports from committees, notices of motions given orally. Mr. Luton is with you, member. Member from St. Catherine South, have that discussion with Mr. Luton first. Thank you. House Leader, notices of motions given orally.
Madam Speaker, I now beg to give notice that at the next meeting of the House, I will move, be it resolved with reference to the resolution approved by this Honourable House on the 20th day of June 2023, appointing a Joint Select Committee to examine, consider, and to report on the Minister Paper 69 of 2023, entitled Job Description for Ministers of Government and Codes of Conduct for Parliamentarians, that we now appoint Honourable Marlene Malalou-Fort as a member thereto. Madam Speaker, I further beg to give notice that at a later stage today, I will move for the suspension of the standing orders to enable me to take the motion. Madam Speaker, I further beg to give notice that at the next meeting of the House, I will move, whereas Standing Order 32C1 stipulates that the state of the constituency debate shall last no longer than 6 weeks, and whereas the 2023 to 24 state of the constituency debate commenced on October the 3rd, 2023, and the 6-week period will therefore expire today, November the 15, 2023, be it resolved that notwithstanding Standing Order 32C1, the state of the constituency debate be extended until December the 5th, 2023. Madam Speaker, I further beg to give notice that at a later stage today, I will move for the suspension of the standing orders to enable me to take the motion.
Thank you, House Leader. Questions and answers to questions? Motions that may be made at the commencement of public business requiring notice, motions relating to the sitting of the House, motions for leave to introduce bills, presentation of bills without leave of the House first obtained, public business. House Leader.
Madam Speaker, I'll take these two matters which I referred to. First, Madam Speaker, I now move for the suspension of the standing orders to enable me to take the motion, notice of which I gave earlier.
The question is that the standing orders be suspended to enable the Minister to take the motion, notice of which was given earlier. Those in favour?
Aye.
Those against? The ayes have it.
Madam Speaker, I ask for the motion be approved.
The question is that the motion, notice of which the Minister gave earlier, be approved. Those in favour? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it.
Madam Speaker, in respect of the extension of the constituency debate, I now move for the motion. I now move for the suspension of the standing orders to enable me to take the motion, notice of which I gave earlier.
The question is that the standing orders be suspended to enable the minister to take the motion, notice of which was given earlier. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? The ayes have it. Minister?
I now ask, Madam Speaker, for the approval of the motion.
Question is that the motion be approved. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? The ayes have it. Motions are approved.
Thank you,
Minister?
Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we will continue the State of the Constituency debate today. There are 3 presentations from the southwestern part of the island. First, Mr. Franklin Witter, Minister of State in the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, will speak first, then followed by Mr. Member Daniel Lawrence from Westmoreland Eastern, and thereafter, to close today, Mr. Delroy Sloly from Northeastern St. Elizabeth.
Thank you, House Leader. We will first have to his feet the member from St. Elizabeth Southeastern, or Honorable Franklin Witter, MP.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm indeed humbled to be standing in this honorable House this afternoon, once again to make my contribution to the State of the Constituency debate. And I just want to say to you, Madam Speaker, that I will be very precise and concise and brief. Madam Speaker, I just want to take this opportunity to congratulate you on your elevation to the office of Speaker of this honorable House. Madam Speaker, as a former Deputy Speaker myself, I've watched you perform several times in that capacity. And the kind of maturity and patience that you exhibit in terms of your judgment and the decision that you make. I believe that most, if not all of us here, are very comfortable and happy to have you as our Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want also to acknowledge and thank my team of councillors in the 4 divisions for their support, for the supporting role that they have continued to play as I try my best to serve the people of Southeastern St. Elizabeth. And I mentioned the 4 councillors, Madam Speaker, because as a leader of the constituency and as a member of Parliament who represents all the people in Southeast St. Elizabeth, I have to recognize and acknowledge the work not only of the JLP councillor, but also the councillor from the other side. We have been working together as a team in St. Elizabeth Southeastern to ensure that we give the people in that constituency the representation that they deserve. Madam Speaker, I also want to thank the people of St. Elizabeth Southeastern for their resounding mandate that they gave me in 2020. Madam Speaker, I'm convinced that with the kind of representation that they are getting at this time, the margin of victory of just under 3,000 votes then will be doubled the next time around, whenever the elections are passed. Madam Speaker, I want to recognize and acknowledge the most special person in my life, the one who everybody regards as the backbone of the constituency in terms of the JLP machinery and organization. And this is no other person than my wife of 39 years, normally. 39 wonderful years. Madam Speaker, I also want to acknowledge and thank the Most Honorable Andrew Michael Honis, Prime Minister of Jamaica, for his continued confidence in me, in allowing me to be a part of this great administration of the Jamaica Labour Party. Madam Speaker, as I come to the end of my salutations, I want to give God thanks for his grace, mercies, and guidance, and for sustaining me throughout this long journey. Madam Speaker, the constituency of St. Elizabeth Southeastern is one that is going from strength to strength. We can boast, Madam Speaker, that the town of Junction is now regarded as the fastest growing towns in Jamaica. Yes. And Madam Speaker, this is not happening by chance. But when you have honest, hardworking, and independent citizens coupled with sound political representation, these are the kind of results that you will get. Madam Speaker, I just want to touch on a few major achievements in the constituency of Southeast St. Elizabeth. Madam Speaker, if you speak about roads, my constituency is one where we have made every effort to do some kind of maintenance, rehabilitation work, and actually every single road in the constituency. Madam Speaker, I've mentioned this many times in this honorable house when I make my presentation, and I always try to implore my fellow colleagues on both sides to have a look at how I handle the CDF. Madam Speaker, every single year for the last 7 years, I utilize 60% of my CDF allocation to do repairs and maintenance to the roads in my constituency. And Madam Speaker, with the support of my councillors and the ministry and the minister in the office of the Prime Minister, Honorable Edward Warmington, and our Minister of Local Government, with the support of the councillors and the support from these two ministers, I've been able to have fairly good roads for the most part in my constituency. Madam Speaker, the few roads that are really in bad condition as we speak, at this time, all of them are in different stages of being addressed. Some in the procurement stage, some in the evaluation stage, some preparing BQ, and some in the contractual stage. So we are going to make sure that by the end of 2024, as one famous speech was made in this house some time ago, it will be pothole-free Southeast St. Madam Speaker, as it relates to water, we are now experiencing one of the greatest transformations that we have ever seen in St. Elizabeth in terms of improvement in the water infrastructure. Madam Speaker, we have completed the Essex Valley domestic water supply. Which is now producing over 2 million gallons of water per day to several communities in the constituency. And we are now looking at extending those services into other communities like Brinkley, Lititz, Bramington Hall, Church Street, Gazeland, Fairfield. All those communities now, we are putting them and getting them ready for the extension phase of the Essex Valley domestic water supply. Madam Speaker, we are also now well on the way with the Essex Valley Agricultural Development Project. Yes. Madam Speaker, this will provide irrigation water to almost 1,000 hectares of land. Impacting hundreds of farmers in the constituency. And this is being done so that we'll be able to create greater wealth for the people in the constituency. Madam Speaker, as this project continues, I want to take this opportunity to commend the contractors who are working on this project. Madam Speaker, this project will also provide value-added components in terms of cold storage, packaging house, processing plant, and marketing solutions. So, Madam Speaker, we will not support the farmers with inputs and leave them on their own. We'll make sure that the long-standing problem that we have in terms of glut and waste at times will be a thing of the past. Madam Speaker, in the era of healthcare, I want to thank Minister Tufton for providing over $40 million to improve the infrastructure of two of my major clinics, namely Myersville and Malvern. We'll also be doing improvement work at the Junction Health Center at a cost of $4 million. Madam Speaker, we believe that if you improve the health of our people, there will be no doubt that we will have commensurate increase in the people's standard of living. Madam Speaker, a lot of positives are taking place in my constituency. Things like the systematic land titling project. This, Madam Speaker, has already caused to be delivered 1,000 titles to landowners. Over 1,000 landowners have received titles through the systematic land titling system. and the process continues. This is what we call prosperity, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, with this kind of prosperity that is taking place in Southeast St. Elizabeth, I just want to remind my finance minister, notwithstanding that he's not here at this moment, that a lot of revenue is being created, and so it will be quite fulfilling for us to put a facility in this fastest growing community to collect these revenues. And by that I mean, Madam Speaker, we need a tax office in Junction. Yeah. Madam Speaker, in regards to education and training, we continue to excel and maintain great standards with schools like Monroe College, Hampton School, Bethlehem Moravian College, BB Coke High, and Nain High. All these schools are doing well when you look at the results in the recent examinations. Doing well also in sports. Thank you very much, my colleague. Madam Speaker, we have also expanded the program at the Derrick Rochester Heart Complex in Junction by acquiring additional space to facilitate various new innovations and offerings. That is now taking place at the Derrick Rochester Complex in Junction. So, as the Prime Minister mentioned, that there is no cost in acquiring these courses at Heart, I am now seeing a number of persons taking advantage of this very, very good move by this administration. Madam Speaker, as I close, yes, I want to declare in this honorable house that the people of St. Elizabeth South East are saying to the rest of Jamaica and the world that we are indeed satisfied with the performance of this government led by the most honorable Andrew Michael Hooney. And as such, Madam Speaker, our minds are well made up and we're not turning back. We're not turning back because we believe that the best thing for Jamaica at this time is to have this government, this administration, led by Andrew Michael Hooney, continue to hold the reins of government for a very long, long, long time. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. May God bless you.
Practice. You are a genius. You have represented the people well.
Madam Speaker, I would like to thank the member from St. Elizabeth Southeastern for a very vibrant and dynamic presentation. And his contribution was well received by the House, and I am sure by his constituents and the people of Jamaica. I now ask Mr. Daniel Lawrence to make his presentation.
Members, on his feet and ready to make his presentation is the member from Westmoreland Eastern. We now welcome Member Daniel Lawrence.
Madam Speaker, it is a pleasure to address this honorable House on this, my third occasion. To report to this country and to the people of Westmoreland Eastern and my performance during the past year. Madam Speaker, I would like to thank the Almighty God for his continued guidance and source of all blessings. To God be the glory. Great things he has done. The month of November is celebrated as National Youth Month, a global celebration which celebrates our youths through a variety of month-long activities aimed at recognizing, engaging, and empowering Jamaican youths. Youth are being challenged this year under the theme, the Year of the Youth, Trending for a Sustainable Future. The theme represents a call to action for young people to rebrand, revamp, strategize, while leveraging their platform to opportunities to trend in the businesses, academic pursuit, and health and mental wellness. They strive to be the best version of themselves. Commendations to our Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, for his strong leadership. Jamaica is stronger and more prosperous today under his firm and courageous leadership. Have one for yourself. Westmoreland Eastern constituency and in Westmoreland Eastern constituency, and particular the hard-working councillors, caretakers, and workers who have dedicated themselves to supporting me in working to improve the lives of the citizens of Westmoreland Eastern. To the people of Westmoreland Eastern who have given me the privilege of being here, I value your confidence, love, support throughout the year. I promise to continue to serve you with sincerity and commitment. My colleagues in Parliament, thank you for your never-ending support and encouragement. Madam Speaker, our health is our responsibility, and today I want to express gratitude to Minister Tufton for his invaluable investment towards the Darliston Health Center rehabilitation and the expansion, also for the fencing of the White House Health Center. Education has always been my top priority. Once again, Madam Speaker, we have hosted 4 back-to-school medical fairs in the 4 divisions where we did free medicals, eye testing, supplied students with bags, books, and stationaries. Additionally, we allocated $2.5 million towards book vouchers for students. at the graduation ceremonies of the two high schools in my constituency, Madam Speaker. I pledged $100,000 scholarship for the two highest performing students from my constituency, one for each high school. Education is for improving the lives of others and for leaving the community, the world, better than we found it. Madam Speaker, step by step, we are building a brighter tomorrow. Madam Speaker, we continue to lobby for our farmers as our constituents are highly dependent on farming. We cannot overemphasize the road conditions that they have to travel on. We are expected to rehabilitate the Argyle Mountain and Neesbury Lane farm roads to ease the transportation burden of the farmers. Madam Speaker, over 70 bags of fertilizers were distributed to farmers across the constituency. Through the RADA PIP program, farmers are also expected to benefit from DAO's chicken fertilizers, seeds, herbicides, and pesticides shortly. Madam Speaker, as a proud product of fishing, I relentlessly lobby for the road leading to the fishing village in White House to be fixed. And Madam Speaker, I am pleased to answered as work is scheduled to commence shortly. In addition, fisher folks receive over 100 rolls of fish pot wires, life jackets, and other fishing equipment. Madam Speaker, through a $40 million allocation received, several roads patching has been done across the length and breadth of the constituency. Areas such as Ramsey Corner to Lambs River, Seaford Town to Stewie, Seaford Town to Dundee, Bethel Town to Stewie, Hopetown to Windsor Forest, Hopetown to Akendown, Bigos, Darliston to Bamboo Gully, Petersville, and more patching is soon to be delivered. Madam Speaker, in my last presentation, I made mention of the Cedar Valley, Lime Tree Lane, and Pinnock Shafton roads that was scheduled to begin soon from my CDF funds. Today, I am happy to be the bearer of good news. The first phase of all 3 roads have been completed. Madam Speaker, another 2 roads, Road Town in White House and Mall Road in Bethel Town, are presently in procurement stages and are slated to be rehabilitated through the CDF funds. Prosperity time for the people of Westmoreland East. Madam Speaker, special thanks to Minister Mackenzie for his allocation of funds for the rehabilitation of the Beckford Lodge Road in Bigwoods. It is 90% complete. Through Mr. Mackenzie also, Madam Speaker, the Dundee to Charles Mount Road has been scoped for rehabilitation. Madam Speaker, it would be remiss of me to stand here today and not also to thank Minister Warmington and his ministry for their timely intervention in the drain cleaning program. Drains were cleaned in all 4 divisions of the constituency, and more is taking place even as we speak. Madam Speaker, $10 million allocation was allocated for the top road in Darlington, which is 70% complete. Again, Madam Speaker, in my last presentation, I made mention of the Witter to Darlington main road. Today, I am happy to announce that work is in progress. This road, Madam Speaker, is used by over 3/4 of the constituency, and the people are extremely happy, as they have been waiting for this type of prosperity for decades. Madam Speaker, we have the garden to Congress, Cave to Bagney, Chesterfield to Seaford Town, Stewie to Seaford Town, Hopetown to Akendown, White House to Ferris, and the list with NWA for rehabilitation. Madam Speaker, for the bridge at Scotts Cove, the border between Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth, an allocation of $50 million, has been allocated for the rehabilitation. I am asking Minister Warmington to take a look at a Bailey Bridge that was constructed temporarily over 30 years ago in the Garden White House area. It has lived out its temporary life and now become a hazard to road users. Madam Speaker, water is a sore point in Westmoreland Eastern. Under the JISTV administration, step has been in place to remedy this situation. The government has made millions of dollars available to upgrade the Roaring River treatment plant, to improve the water supply to areas such as Lambs River, Cottage, Barneyside, and Darlington. Madam Speaker, the Cambridge treatment plant will also benefit from a major upgrade that will supply water to areas such as Betheltown and community leading off. That has been suffering, Madam Speaker, for years without water. Madam Speaker, for the long-awaited well in Petersville, construction is scheduled to start in short order. The residents of Petersville, Long Hill, Pustown, Fosdick Grove, Congress, White House, and other areas will benefit tremendously from this new well. Madam Speaker, rehabilitation work at a cost of $10 million has been done at Ashton Community Center, community catchment, along with an installation of new pipelines. Madam Speaker, did the people of Ashton get pipelines, new pipelines, but water pouring through the lines, and the community is having water. Madam Speaker, with the rippling effect of the drought, Minister Mackenzie has made a great input available for chucking of water to the communities. Special thanks to Minister Mackenzie for this input. Madam Speaker, in recognizing the importance of growth in our economy, we have distributed approximately 300 entrepreneurial grants to business operators and farmers. Madam Speaker, not only are we investing in roads, water in Westmoreland Eastern, we are investing in citizens to assist through other welfare programs like Compassionate Grant and even with their funeral and medical expenses. Hats off to the Minister of Labor and Social Security, Minister Pernell Charles Jr., which has assisted constituents through short-term poverty alleviation program. Madam Speaker, the record speaks for itself. The best is yet to come. For Westmoreland Eastern, and I continue this diligent journey. I pray that Almighty God will forever grant me with the wisdom, understanding, and good health to carry out my duties. God bless the people of Westmoreland Eastern, and God bless Jamaica.
House Leader, turn on again.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank the member from Westmoreland Eastern for his presentation, and we will continue.
Our final presentation for today comes to us from St. Elizabeth Northeastern. The House is energetically and enthusiastically welcoming Member Delroy Sloly to his feet.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I ask permission to speak from a seat, which is not mine.
Permission granted, Member.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in this little booklet I have here, it's a short story of transformation through action. Madam Speaker, the power of belief can move mountains. When you believe, you can. You most certainly will. With great honor and pride, I rise to deliver my third State of the Constituency debate as the Member of Parliament for St. Elizabeth Northeastern. Madam Speaker, first and foremost, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Almighty God for granting me the strength, wisdom, and good health to fulfill my role as a servant of the people. I must acknowledge my unwavering support system from my dedicated family, to the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, our Prime Minister and party leader, along with our esteemed members of the Jamaica Labour Party hierarchy. Their guidance, support, and encouragement have been instrumental on my journey. I would also like to express my appreciation for the diligent staff at the constituency office, members of the management and constituency executive. Also, I must emphasize the contribution of the sitting councillor, one and only councillor for the constituency, Mr. Christopher Williams, and our councillors in waiting, Valdina Banks, James Mitchell, and Kurt Rodney, for their steadfast support. My CDF manager, Dr. Ava Brown, for always going beyond the call of duty to support the team on this journey. Madam Speaker, my deepest thanks goes out to the voters of St. Elizabeth Northeastern, who recognize my passion for action over mere words during the last election and beyond. They saw the willingness in me to serve, hence they dubbed me the Action Man. And I am so grateful for their trust and support on this political journey. Indeed, this journey has not been without its challenges. But as the saying goes, if you want good, your nose have to run. Amen. Today, Madam Speaker, my address will be broken down under three main headings, namely one, achievements in education, youth and training, infrastructure development, community welfare, and future initiatives. Madam Speaker, there's a profound African proverb that resonates deeply with my core values, and I quote, "If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together." Amen. It is this principle that underpins my unwavering commitment to the progress and betterment of my constituency. Today, I am thrilled to present the concrete results of our collective endeavors, highlighting our dedication, all of which are aimed at fostering lasting and meaningful improvements in the lives of the people that I proudly support. Madam Speaker, I stand before you as a living testament to the transformative power of education. It is the passport to the future, unlocking boundless opportunities. In this financial year, my office has invested over $10 million from the CDF pot towards education alone. This was used for tertiary grants, book vouchers, and secondary auxiliary fees. Madam Speaker, an issue that weighs heavily on my heart is the issue of withholding exam certifications at the CXC level due to unpaid auxiliary fees. I can speak to this based on my personal experience this academic year, where my office provided intervention to the sum of $1 million to offset outstanding auxiliary fees close to 100 students, Madam Speaker. These students would have been otherwise disenfranchised from accessing further career and educational prospects. I think this is an unconscionable act, especially when education is a platform for the betterment of this country, Madam Speaker. Yep. By withholding these certifications, we are essentially punishing and sabotaging the prospects of these young people whose families are already struggling to send them to school. I am calling on the necessary authorities to put an immediate stop to this practice and find alternate means of resolving this situation. Through this, Madam Speaker, through the strategic collaboration of my office and Hard Trust NSTA, we have successfully certified more than 63 individuals at level 2 in housekeeping. These individuals now stand prepared for both local and overseas opportunities, enriching their socio-economic potential and contributing to the growth of our nation. I am enjoying prosperity, member, over here. Madam Speaker, it is my duty to commend the Cornell Ferguson Training Institute, a valuable partner in our efforts in empowering our youths. In collaboration with the Office of the Member of Parliament, this institution, since October of 2020, Madam Speaker, has trained over 1,500 young men and women And remarkably so, 98% of these individuals have been gainfully employed within various security companies, local and internationally. We eagerly anticipate the expansion of their program offerings, further uplifting and empowering the youth of northeastern St. Elizabeth. In a commitment to elevate our early childhood education, discussions are well underway with the Heart NSTA Trust to facilitate the certification of teachers in our constituency's early childhood institutions. Madam Speaker, education is very high on our agenda. I am happy to report that major education infrastructure work is being done by this Andrew Holness-led administration. And we are not being left behind, as the evidence will show. Madam Speaker, it gives me great pleasure to report to this noble House that both the new Santa Cruz Primary Infant Department building and the Leeds Primary Infant Department buildings are now fully complete, fully operational at a combined cost of approximately $80 million. Madam Speaker, we're not done yet. I am happy to report that we have yet another infant department, a third one since being Member of Parliament, to be started at the Roses Valley Primary School in Balaclava at a whopping cost of $47.9 million. For this one, Madam Speaker, tomorrow morning at 10:30, we will be handing over the site to the contractor for the building to be started in a few days, and we expect completion by the end of March 2024. Madam Speaker, Northeast St. Elizabeth is in great hands, and we are not being left off the prosperity train. We are fully on board. I want to give credit, Madam Speaker, to our hard-working Honorable Minister Favour Williams, dedicated Minister of Education, and the Chase Fund for making all this possible. Madam Speaker, we're not done yet. In addition to those three infant departments, I want to thank and make special mention to the Digicel Foundation, which came on board with the Minister of Education, our Honorable Favour Williams again, on the recent completion of the Special Education Center in Santa Cruz, valuing $43 million. The prosperity train is rolling through, Madam Speaker. I have made mention of the impact that the Farm Work Overseas Employment Program has on my constituency in my last speech, particularly as we are a rural community. This program, Madam Speaker, acts as an economic stimulant to many farmers and their families. However, Madam Speaker, in recent times, we have seen negative occurrences surrounding the continuity of this program. In saying that, Madam Speaker, I want to reiterate my call for the introduction of a preparatory program to ensure that Jamaicans do not become extinct from the Overseas Farm Work Program. As this program, Madam Speaker, has been beneficial to numerous families in my constituency and the country at large. One of the suggestions, Madam Speaker, is to engage the Heart Trust NSTA, who can facilitate a national sensitization program for persons who are interested in this program. We need to have a pool of persons who are prepared and ready to be ambassador for this program, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in my previous address to this esteemed House, I brought to our attention the disheartening state of some drains that had gone without maintenance for close to 15 years. In a notable and encouraging turn of events, I am delighted to announce that since December 2020, we have successfully cleaned a substantial number of drains. Madam Speaker, I wish to address a matter I raised in my previous speech also regarding the critical issue of drain cleaning in the town of Santa Cruz. I'm delighted to report that significant positive outcomes of our extensive drain cleaning initiatives. As a result, there have been no reports of any major flooding in the town of Santa Cruz and Balaclava. Madam Speaker, it used to be that even when the rain set up in Balaclava, the town used to flood. Yeah. And it's a complete difference now, Madam Speaker. Yeah. And it shows that work is being done in northeastern Central, significant work. Our dedicated efforts have not only averted past standstill, but have also ensured the smooth functioning of the local ecosystem, even during periods of heavy rainfall. This, Madam Speaker, exemplifies our commitment to effective governance, community safety, and well-being. Again, Madam Speaker, transformation through action. Madam Speaker, it gives me great pleasure to share with this honorable House that through partnership between PAHO and the Ministry of Health, we were able to carry out major infrastructural work valuing in excess of $100 million on the renovation and expansion of the Santa Cruz Health Center, Madam Speaker. This Andrew Holness-led government is serious about the health and well-being of its people. And I'm happy that the empirical evidence shows that we are not being left behind, Madam Speaker. I also want to give credit to Dr. Christopher Tufton for his efforts in making this major development possible. In addition, we will be receiving $11 million that will be going towards provisioning sidewalk for the entire corridor leading to the health center. Sidewalk and road improvement, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I, like our Prime Minister, firmly believe that home ownership is not just about shelter. It symbolizes security, stability, and the creation of economic wealth, independence, and mostly important, cherished family memories. It is with great honor, pride, and gratitude that I acknowledge the Most Honorable Prime Minister's unwavering commitment to St. Elizabeth Northeast. He has fulfilled his promise by personally presenting, Madam Speaker, three-bedroom house to 3 deserving families. Just a few months ago. And if that wasn't sufficiently impressive, Madam Speaker, we are nearing 70% completion of yet another 3-bedroom unit in Georges Valley in the Braze River Division, which will soon provide another family, Madam Speaker, with the gift of a secure and comfortable home. Our dedication to securing shelters for families in need led us to forge a partnership with the Heart Trust NSTA, Madam Speaker. This collaboration allowed us to address the housing needs of an elderly constituent in Grossman, again in the Braze River Division, by providing a 1-bedroom housing unit, which also provided training and certification to the trainees of this said project. Madam Speaker, as we all know, major investments have been done in terms of modernization of our police stations and facilities across the length and breadth of Jamaica. And Madam Speaker, I can say very boldly, Madam Speaker, that we are not being left behind in St. Elizabeth Northeastern. In fact, in the Burton-Lacove area, as we speak, Madam Speaker, we have a state-of-the-art police facility being constructed at a cost of over $200 million, Madam Speaker. And for this, I want to express thanks to our Prime Minister and our visionary, Honorable Dr. Horace Tang, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, for the major infrastructural upgrade to police stations across the country, and for this major investment in our constituency. Madam Speaker, in line with the commitment to ensure that the residents of northeastern St. Elizabeth keep pace with the rest of the country, the hard-working Honorable Minister Darrell Vaz, Minister of Science, Energy, Telecoms and Transport, has played a pivotal role in bridging the digital divide, ensuring that every nook and cranny of Jamaica is equipped with Wi-Fi service. During this financial year, we continued our collaboration with the Universal Service Fund, which enabled us to bring on stream an additional 2 community Wi-Fi connections, namely in 7 Corners in the Santa Cruz Division and in Quickstep in the Balaclava Division. And also, Madam Speaker, by the end of this financial year, we intend to have a 3rd being installed in the township of Silo, which will benefit both the students and the staff at the primary school and the residents in general. I want to make special mention of the Universal Service Fund CEO, Mr. Daniel Dawes, who has really been instrumental in this endeavor, and I look forward to our continued partnership. Madam Speaker, I have a passion for community development from I was a boy. And that passion has led me to make the sacrifice of gifting a former family home, which has become the resource community center for residents of the community that I live in 7 Corners. This has been a useful resource in facilitating training and development via the Heart Trust NSTA Health Fairs, along with being a homework center in my community. Madam Speaker, we are now in the process of adding a computer lab to enhance the services provided there. Once again, I have to credit Universal Service Fund, who has agreed to supply and install the computers, the necessary furniture. Madam Speaker, as my beloved grandmother used to say, teach a person to fish, and he will fish for life. This profound wisdom has been at the core of my political journey, driving my commitment to empower our constituents to achieve greater independence. In this regard, we have been purposeful in supporting a significant number of individuals in starting, restocking, or reigniting the fuel in their small businesses. It's a well-known saying that water is life, Madam Speaker, and I wholeheartedly concur. The distribution of water remains a pressing issue for the residents of northeastern St. Elizabeth. This concern affects not only households, but also farmers, local business, and our educational institutions. As I mentioned before, this matter continues to demand our attention. Madam Speaker, we continue to explore sustainable solutions to address water scarcity challenges in our region, focusing on the well-being and prosperity of all constituents. In this regard, Madam Speaker, I am pleased to report that while challenges persist, we have made significant progress in certain areas. And I will name them, Madam Speaker. Roses Valley Primary School, for example. For years, this institution has been grappling with a lack of proper water supply, rendering it potentially unsafe. Madam Speaker, I'm proud to share that in conjunction with the rural water supply, pipes are now being laid, leading to a 20,000-gallon self-sufficient catchment tank towards the efforts of increasing water harvesting to provide safe and secure water to the students and staff alike. This is estimated to be handed over by December of this year, Madam Speaker. In the community of Pepper, Madam Speaker, a new well has been drilled and a 200,000-gallon storage tank constructed to facilitate the greater Mandeville water supply system and to provide water for the community of Pepper. But, Madam Speaker, this brings joy to my heart because sometimes in a presentation previously, I made mention of the danger of extracting water from our backyard and sending it to another jurisdiction. Because, Madam Speaker, it is frankly dangerous. And I'm happy that good senses have prevailed. And our hard-working Minister, Matthew Samuda, has decided that out of that specific project, which was geared towards the Mandeville Greater Water Supply System, they have agreed that we will have to benefit first, Madam Speaker. And so it is. Pipes, as we speak, are being laid in the Pepper community to be able to augment our water supply system. So things are happening, Madam Speaker. Another initiative in this regard is linking the Long Hill well to the Southampton well to provide additional capacity of potable water for the Southampton and surrounding communities. Madam Speaker, the Content well that mainly serves residents of Santa Cruz is in the process of being upgraded to increase the capacity to 1.5 million gallons of water being drawn from the well per day. This will bring additional supply of the precious commodity to more people within the Santa Cruz division. Madam Speaker, additionally, this one is very close to me. For a number of years, Madam Speaker, we have been having water lock-off in the Silo division merely because of turbidity level. Turbidity level is a key test factor of the water quality. But turbidity level is simply dirty water. And I've always been asking, why is it that a treatment plant cannot be created to avert this kind of situation? Madam Speaker, I am happy to report to this noble House that preliminary costing has been approved. Preliminary designs have been approved. And Madam Speaker, we're expecting that in the new financial year, commencement of this treatment plant will be done in the Beneloma water supply area that will make a difference in the lives of the residents of most of the Silo division. Madam Speaker, I am often involved in taking care of things with my constituents and using my resources. For some people it's a problem. But this is something that I've been doing long before politics, Madam Speaker. And it gives me great joy and pleasure to be able to do that. And in the community of Mitcham, Madam Speaker, in the Brace River Division, there is a challenge of water supply. Sometimes before I became Member of Parliament, I installed two 1,000-gallon drums in the community. But unfortunately, the road surface is so difficult, Madam Speaker, it is difficult to get trucked water into the community to get it done. So in recent time, Madam Speaker, we were able to get an attachment to a well in close proximity to the Mitcham community. Island Dairy provided us with that option. Madam Speaker, they need over 200 pipes to make this possible. And I'm happy to say, Madam Speaker, that the 200 pipes were bought and paid for by the Member of Parliament, Delroy Action Man Gary Sloly. In our mission to secure improved water distribution for my constituency, my team and I are continuously working toward meaningful and lasting solutions, such as the above mentioned, Madam Speaker. And these are just some of the reasons why my constituents dub me the Action Man. Madam Speaker, today I am honored to present a comprehensive overview of the vital infrastructure work that has been underway in our constituency, focusing on projects that are crucial to enhancing our daily lives and bolstering the region's development. This infrastructure, Madam Speaker, reflects our unwavering commitment to progress, prosperity, resilience, action, transformation, and community growth. I want to give credit to Honorable Minister Warmington, who gave $40 million to every member of parliament to rehabilitate roads within their respective constituency. From this funding, we selected 3 major corridors, namely Santa Cruz to Leeds, Aberdeen Road, the Lackover to Burn Savannah corridor, where extensive work has been done in each. Over the past year, we were able to do remedial work on 15 other minor roads in our constituency. Madam Speaker, I am happy to report that finally, major rehabilitation work will commence on 2 major corridors in our constituency, namely Santa Cruz to Leeds corridor and the Lackover to Burn Savannah corridor, with a combined value of over $250 million, with an expected start date of March 2024. Madam Speaker, we have a number of other minor roadways that are slated for repair within the next couple of months, namely Waterloo, Retirement, Burnt Ground, Lovers Lane, Hanson Avenue, Balaclava Town to Oxford, Main Road, Leeds School Road, Bagdale Mountain, Burton Town, etc., etc. In addition, Madam Speaker, this is another one which is dear to me. The residents of Pepper are set to benefit from our partnership with the RADA Farm Rehab Program with a value of $11 million for the Number Road in the Breeze River Division. And why I say it is somehow dear to me, Madam Speaker, I remember about a year ago, I had a discussion with residents of the community. And what they told me, Madam Speaker, was that there was an elderly lady that took ill in the night. And they literally had to get a wheelbarrow to put the lady in to get her out of the community, Madam Speaker, because of the condition of the road. And this has been so for the past 30-odd years, Madam Speaker. This is not something new that I have seen and experienced. And it is shameful. It is embarrassing. And so I am happy to report that we are going to change the lives and the conditions of the people of Number. Transformation through action. Madam Speaker, I am calling on the NAA to consider installing roundabouts at 2 significant areas in our constituency. I speak of the Lovely Point entrance and exit and the Burn Savannah entrance and exit. These are danger zones and accident-prone areas that if roundabouts were to be installed would certainly alleviate and facilitate, will certainly reduce the number of fatalities on our roadway. While there have not been any major accidents at these 2 points, I raise them today because there have been many close calls, and as my granny would say, a stitch in time saves 9. Madam Speaker, I am pleased to report that the community of Balaclava that has been without a fire station for decades will be having one soon and very soon. For that, I want to extend my gratitude to the Right Honorable Minister Desmond Mackenzie, who visited the site and toured the location where this well-needed essential facility will be established.
House Leader, the member's time for speaking has expired. It doesn't make sense to ask for any time in excess of 5 minutes because it will not be granted by the Speaker, and that will apply across the House.
I ask that this time be extended by 6 minutes, Madam Speaker.
The question is that the member's time be extended by 5 minutes to facilitate the completion of his presentation. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? Members, I am making sure it is clearly understood that this Speaker is going to apply the rules and the standing orders. And we are encouraged as quickly as possible, whatever we would like to be the proceedings in the House, amend the standing orders. When I make a statement, it is actually not a warning or a threat. It is a gentle reminder of the standing orders. And one will observe as we go along that it will be applied across the House to all members of the House. Thank you very much, members. Mr. Sloly, you may continue and complete your presentation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In reflecting upon my recent activities, I am compelled to highlight a particularly impactful endeavor that resonates deeply with the spirit of community service. That is none other than that of Akelia Dunkley, a 14-year-old student of the Black River High School who sustained third-degree burns from the gas explosion at her home. Madam Speaker, once I was made aware of the grave situation by Mr. Stephen Josephs, project manager at the San Marino Foundation, I took the lead by personally contributing US $5,000 and then leveraged my business network, and together we swiftly raised approximately US $10,000 of the needed US $45,000 required by the end of the same day for the ambulance service to airlift her to the USA. Madam Speaker, I want to make special mention of Mr. Willard Chambers, the CEO of Courier Jamaica Limited, for his prompt response and invaluable donation of US $2,000 to the venture. I also, Madam Speaker, want to extend gratitude to Minister Floyd Green and Mr. Eugene Morgan, who has his law firm in Santa Cruz. They generously contributed from their personal resources towards this endeavor. This achievement would not have been possible without the crucial support of Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, Minister of Health, and the Honorable Favour Williams, Minister of Education. Their expeditious actions were instrumental in ensuring Akelia timely transfer to the Joseph M. Silburn Center in Augusta, Georgia, where she has successfully completed 7 surgeries as part of her treatment, Madam Speaker. And I'm happy to report that young Akelia is now back in Jamaica recuperating. I can also report, Madam Speaker, that Minister Desmond McKenzie has visited the home of Akelia and has committed to a new housing solution for the family. And in conclusion, Madam Speaker, the theme for this debate is transformation through action. And I stand before you today to affirm that action is not just a buzzword, but a core principle that guides my service to the wonderful, hard-working, resilient people of St. Elizabeth, Northeastern. I want to express my deepest gratitude to all those who have supported me on this journey, from the constituents who placed their trust in me to the dedicated members of my team, the most honorable also Prime Minister, and the various partners and organizations that have joined hands with us to bring about meaningful change. Madam Speaker, we have seen tremendous achievement in the areas of education, youth empowerment, water supply, road infrastructure, and housing. These achievements are not just numbers and statistics, Madam Speaker. They represent the lives transformed, the future made brighter, and the communities uplifted, Madam Speaker. As we continue to take action and work tirelessly for the betterment of our constituency, I, Delroy Gary Sloly, a.k.a. the Action Man, want to reiterate my unwavering commitment to progress, prosperity, and community growth. We have made significant strides, but our journey is far from over. Madam Speaker, St. Elizabeth Northeastern is my home. I was conceived there, born and bred there, educated there, do business there, and I'm still living there. Whenever my constituents want to find me, they don't have to go to St. Ann. Whenever my constituents want to find me, they don't have to go over to Westmoreland. Whenever my constituents want to find me, they certainly don't have to go to Clarendon. Madam Speaker, they know exactly where to come. My final words, Madam Speaker. I'd like to say, I'm on Banya. I'm on Anya, and I not leave you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Madam Speaker, I want to thank the member from North East St. Elizabeth, Mr. Delroy Sloly, for his excellent presentation. We have had 3 very good presentations, Madam Speaker. And I now ask for the suspension of the State of the Constituency debate until next Tuesday, the 21st, at 2 p.m. No, next Tuesday, Madam Speaker, at the 21st.
Thanks, House Leader. Members, those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. House Leader.
Madam Speaker,
House Leader, before you conclude, I would just like to also say thanks to Member Sloly. I actually appreciate when the members of the House respect the ruling of the Speaker, and I thank
Wonderful. Madam Speaker, it's not proposed to do any further business today, so I now ask that the House be adjourned until Tuesday, the 21st of November at 2 p.m.
The question, members, is that the House do now adjourn for Tuesday, November 21st at 2 p.m. sharp. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. This honorable House now stands adjourned.
later in their life, especially for those who are overweight. Shake the salt habit. Shop smart and cook smart. Use less or no salt when cooking. Try using fresh herbs and seasonings to add more flavor. Limit the consumption of salty snacks. Take the time to carefully read the nutrition labels on food products to identify those high in salt and choose the healthier options. Remember, no more than 2 grams of salt per day from all food sources for children under 11 years of age.
The National Family Planning Board now presents a parenting tip from Albert Schweitzer. There are only 3 ways to teach a child. The first is by example. The second is by example. The third is by example.
Do you wish there were a way your community could get funding to improve a school, health center, sports program, and more? There is! It's the Constituency Development Fund. Here are a few things you probably didn't know about the CDF and how you can make it work better for you. The CDF policy promotes citizen participation in community development and the protection of taxpayers' funds. It outlines that MPs are to meet with citizens at least once every 2 years to agree on the projects needed. You know, it used to be once a year? We should really go back to that. Projects developed without community consultation are not to be approved by the bipartisan CDF Parliamentary Committee. There are 26 government agencies that implement projects, usually for a small fee. Funds are provided directly from the Office of the Prime Minister to the implementing agency, not through the Member of Parliament. The CDF unit monitors project costs and implementation, so if you have questions about how the CDF are run in your community, contact them. To ensure no one project or community gets all the funds, there are 6 project categories with spending limits for each. There must be no less than 5 and no more than 20 projects each year. To learn more, visit jampja.org to view your MP's CDF info and tell them how this fund has impacted you. If you don't see your MP's CDF reports, then put them under little pressure, man. Call, tweet, email. Ask them when they'll submit it and when is the next CDF meeting. Change is possible. It's already happening. What we need is you. A message from the Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal, funded by the European Union and the Inter-American Development Bank in partnership with the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica.
Jamaica and its workforce are advancing quickly. Life-changing opportunities are arising. You need training and support. We are the Renewed Heart NSTA Trust, committed to providing new and emerging skills training and opportunities. Come to Heart. We'll help you claim your place in the workforce of the future.